What do I think his actual height is based on how amazing he is? Oh, the bro's over 7 foot tall. He's like Shaq size. If I hear Ronnie James Dio's voice, I'm thinking this guy's over 7 foot tall. Has to be. It's impossible not to be. What's going on, guys? This is Zach Adkins, and in this video, we're going to talk about some short kings in the musician world. Let's get to it. So I just made a video about musicians that used to have long hair but are now bald, and they kind of rock that look. And while I was doing this video, I realized that few of these people were really short. And I thought, that might be a fun video to make about short musicians of the world and just kind of, give them a little shout out, right? They need a boost, if you will.
What did he say?
Really quick, before you go and jump into the comments and start saying, like, you shouldn't be making fun of short people. Bro, look how short I am. I've got this, chair as high up as it'll go. Look at this. This is ridiculous. And even if I could put the chair up higher, my freaking feet would just dangle off the edge. I have short legs. I'm a short guy. So I could talk about it. Leave me alone. All right. So basically, my criteria is total bullshit, and it doesn't make any sense at all. But I just kind of picked people that I went, whoa, what? This guy's short? That's my criteria. We're going to give the actual height of these people. I have them written down here in chicken scratch on my notebook. But I'm also going to be a little skeptical about some of these numbers because I think that most of us short people, we kind of like to add a little bit to it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give their supposed height, and then I'm going to give you what I actually think their height is. So stick around for that. So I would absolutely be crucified if I did not start with Malcolm Young and Angus Young from ACDC. Real quick, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure that you do, because only 7% of people that are watching my videos are subscribed. Just go ahead and click it real quick. It takes 2 seconds and it's free and it helps me out. Please, thank you very much. Okay, bye. Get back to the video. These two are a powerhouse in the rock industry. They literally had one band that they did one song, and they made an entire career out of one song with one band. And they're brothers, so of course, it would suck if one was really tall and the other one wasn't. It was like one of them got half baked, but the other one got fully baked. Now, of course, Malcolm Young has passed away. Rest in peace. Can't imagine playing live without him is an easy thing to do. So, but these two here, look at this. You just want to pick him up and squeeze him. I look at him and Malcolm playing guitar, and an SG guitar is not that big, but it looks so massive on Angus, and it's so funny. It's so funny. I love it. Now, on a side note, they try to sit here and tell me that Brian Johnson is 5'5" or 5'6", but I know he's kind of leaning a little bit in this, but bro, I don't think so. But look at this young Malcolm here. Malcolm. That guitar is not very big. Look at this can of beer. I'm assuming it's beer. They drank like fish. The cigarette's bigger than his head, and the freaking can of beer is bigger than his hand. That's insane. How they actually survived as long as they did, considering the amount of, cigarettes they smoked, and it was almost impossible to find photos of them not smoking or drinking. I don't know how they did it, considering they were only, now their official height is Angus at 5'2", and Malcolm at 5'3", and Brian Johnson, it says 5'6", and then some say 5'5". I'm thinking 5'4". As far as their legacy on rock and how amazing they are, I put these guys at 6'4" all day long. Way to go, the Young brothers. All right, next up on the list is Danny Filth from Cradle of Filth. This one might be weird for all of you kind of more old school rocker guys, but Cradle of Filth is a pretty big band. And this one is one that I put in here because it really surprised me. The guy's 5'5". Now, again, I think he's 5'4". He's scary looking, so that's cool. That might add about, an inch of height to him. Just a baby. His frame, he's so small. Adorable. He's so scary, but also not really. Photo of him next to a couple other people. Now, I'm wondering who this super short person is next to him, because if he's already short, who's that? Now, as far as his rock legacy, metal legacy, I'd put him, he's 5'5" according to this. I think he's 5'4". But according to his rock legacy, I would put him at a 5'7". It's yeah, you've done some cool shit. Cradle of Filth rules, but you're not 6'4" like the Malcolm brothers in ACDC. It's just you're not there. The next up on the list is a reoccurring artist that I've had on a couple other videos, Mr. Steve Stevens. So here he is with Michael Jackson, but he also is probably more known for being Billy Idol's guitar player. Now, it says here he is 5'6". Now, no. Look at it. He's always standing on his tippy toes, of course, and he's wearing these like kind of heels. And I think his hair might make him 5'6" if we're pushing it. If his hair is that spiky all the time, yeah, I'd put him at 5'6". I think he's 5'4". I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't think so, but amp's almost as big as him. You stack two of those on top of each other, it's taller than his whole entire existence. Here he is next to Billy Idol, and just look at the frame. Look at his frame. All right, his shoulders are small. His friggin' waist is small. The guitar is like twice his size. And again, he's still not even as tall as Billy Idol, who's leaning down, and his hair, even with his hair and with Billy Idol leaning down. It ain't happening. You ain't 5'6", bro. You're 5'4". All right, now the height that really matters. What I believe. Considering that he's played with Michael Jackson and Billy Idol, and he did the Top Gun theme and everything, I'd have to put him at 6 foot. Right on the money. He's 6 foot tall, in my opinion. That's what I believe him to be. Next up, one of my favorite musicians, who is, again, another recurring artist on these lists, Billy Joel. So now, some of you might be saying that Billy Joel is not a rock star or whatever, but if you go look back before he was Billy Joel, he was in a band called Attila that he started. Sounds a lot like Iron Butterfly meets Yes meets like Black Sabbath. I swear to God, it's actually pretty killer. I digress. Let's talk about how not tall he is. All right, just look at his little legs, okay? His shoe size is like 5. I wonder where he gets these jeans made. Does he get them at like a store for teenagers, or does he just like walk into a regular store? Coming in at 5'5". I don't believe it. I don't believe he's 5'5". I think he's 5'4", but with shoes on, maybe 5'5". Not the shortest guy on the list, but it really surprised me how short he was, because that's why he's added to the list, because it's like, bro, I'm sitting here thinking, the Piano Man has got to be at least 6 foot tall, but no. This here, he looks like a kid who, like, his mom told him to go to bed, and he's like, no, I don't want to. Look at these little shoes. Now, as far as Billy Joel's legacy, I mean, you've got Piano Man, Uptown Girl, Vienna, We Didn't Start the Fire. I mean, I gotta put him at like 6'2", right? Definitely. That's the first number that came off the top of my head. If he's not 6'2", then I would be shocked. Next up on the list, Scorpion singer Claus Mina. And I swear to God, I Googled it, I did the translation, I did the pronunciation thing, and that's what it told me to say. Claus Mina. I'm sorry if that is offensive, because it's horrible. He is a short boy, and he should have gone on my musicians that went bald, and I guess I have a little bit of an oversight here somehow. So according to the list, he is 5'6". For some reason, I believe this. Here he is with Kiss, and now, of course, Kiss has platform boots on, but just look at he's just a small guy. Even if they didn't have the boots on, they're still towering over him. His shoulders are smaller. His like waist is smaller. His legs are tiny. I think his thigh is like the same size as Tommy Thayer's forearm. It's got such a powerful voice. There's no one like you. Here he is next to his Mercedes. You should do a commercial for Mercedes, like, we fit short people. Yay! Now here he is next to Mr. says he's 5'6". If he is 5'6" and Brian Johnson is 5'6", I don't believe it. Because look at him. He's like standing back a little bit. He's leaning forward. I don't believe it. They both look really good, though. They look healthy. They look like they're crushing it, considering probably the amount of damage they've done to their body over the years. What do I believe his actual height is? I think he's like 5'10", to be honest with you. Just based on his success, based on everything. I don't think he's over 6 foot tall. I think he's like 5'10". I think that's a generous number. Next up on the list is Mr. Ronnie James Dio, one of my favorites of all time. Here he is standing in the front. Real quick, what the fuck is that? Ronnie James is packing something, dude. Ronnie James Dio, according to my notes, is 5'4", which I'd say, yeah, he's probably 5'4" in this photo. They make him stand forward across everybody, so it looks like he's not super short, even though he super is. When you look at this photo, you're like, oh, he's not that short, but it's like, bro, look at his little feet. And he's standing on the stage, and they're not, and he's like still barely taller than them. Does it really matter that he's short? No. And again, what is with, like, they had to have been stuffing their pants. And I don't know about this guy on the left here. He looks like he was picked up at a construction site, and then they told him to wear a wig and go at it. Here he is as he got older. And of course, I'm sure as he got older, he got shorter and shorter and smaller and smaller. It just kind of happens with time. What do I think his actual height is based on how amazing he is? Oh, the bro's over 7 foot tall. He's like Shaq size. If I hear Ronnie James Dio's voice, I'm thinking this guy's over 7 foot tall. Has to be. It's impossible not to be. All right, last on the list is Dan Spitz from Anthrax. He is last because he is the shortest person on this entire list, coming in at a whopping 5'1". Literally, if he put that Jackson guitar on the ground and stood it up next to him, it'd be the same height. I guarantee it. Here he is with the band. I mean, and people in Anthrax are not that tall either, by the way. He makes everybody else in this band look like they're giants. 5'1" is to be 5'1" and not have dwarfism. That's pretty impressive, actually. I think. You know, he doesn't have any of the signs of like dwarfism. You know, like the fingers. I'm not going to get into it. It's going to get super offensive, and I totally don't want it to. Prejudice, fucking asshole, because it's not what I mean. Here he is next to Chris Holmes from Wasp. Man, Chris Holmes, he's 6'5", so he's just towering over Dan. When you look at his guitar playing, his rhythm playing, and how fast he was, I put him at, I mean, if you told me that Dan was like 5'9", I'd believe you. 5'9", maybe 5'8 3/4. Give him a little bit, you know. Who did I miss in the short musicians list? Maybe I'll make a part 2 if you leave me some comments down below about who you think should have been on the list and everything. This is all just having fun, even if they are a little bit height impaired, right? They still kick ass. They still bring you a good show. And if they're on stage, does it even really matter? Like, they've got this massive thing. The stage makes them already look like they're 10 feet tall. No shade on anybody. I thought it would just be a fun topic to bring up. So, who did I miss? Leave a comment below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.